And welcome back. We're moving into our second segment for today, and we're focusing on a new initiative, a faith-based rehab center for Belize entitled God Will Provide. And we have in studios with us, we have the director of Mission Belize, Alex Popov, and we also have the director of the rehab center, Eric Odechuk. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Now, let's start off and talk about the organization that you represent, and how did you guys find out about Belize?
Well, our organization has many rehabilitation centers in the United States, and we have rehabilitation centers in Central America. And our pastor had a vision to open up a rehabilitation center in Belize City, and we have been in Belize 6 months in process of starting one here.
Now, why a rehab center?
Because there's a lot of people that are struggling with alcohol, drugs, and gangs that are lost today, struggling in their problems. They need an opportunity.
And what kind of a format does it take? Is it it's not a residential center, but how do you, is it?
It is.
It is.
Yes. The students, they will be living on the campus with us, along with us.
So how many people, how far along are you in that entire process?
We are pretty much all done. We're just waiting until the 7th, until the opening, and we will be receiving students.
And are you looking for a particular age range? Are you looking for people who are addicts?
Addicts, 17 and up, pretty much. Anybody that's 17 up can come on the program, and it's a 6 to 9 months program where you come, you live, and totally under our supervision, you would say.
And how do people, is it, because most people are not going to volunteer to necessarily go to a rehab center. So how do you enlist or enroll people?
Every center that we ever had will never have problems getting students, because as you see today, there's a lot of people that are struggling with addiction and different situations in life. They have hit rock bottom, that just need an opportunity to change their life, and here's what the center offers: that opportunity to come and get a new chance at new start at life.
See, what we learned is if a person doesn't want it themselves, if they haven't made that decision themselves, then there's nothing that could keep them. Once you come to the realization that you have nothing left and you're ready to make a change, then you come and you make a change, and there's nothing that forces you but the decision that you made inside of yourself.
So do you work within the formal system of Belize, where I notice you have some young people from the youth cadet? Do you also talk to them? What kind of outreach do you have to make people aware of the efforts that you have?
Because most of our ministers can relate to the problems that are going on in this environment, in this world today, we visit jails, juvenile halls. For example, in Belize will be youth cadet, youth hostel. We're also minister at the high schools on the south side, visit churches, talk to youth. So besides being active at the rehabilitation center, our ministers also are active in the community.
So it's not only the rehab center that you have. Let's talk about the other initiatives that you have running simultaneously in terms of your church.
One of the things, our closest location that's already established is Honduras, Puerto Cortes. We've been there 4 years. We have an orphanage, we have a church, we have a rehabilitation center, we're active in the community. So it's not just the rehab center, that's just something that we start. But every time you start a rehab, you need to open up a church, because a lot of people will not want to accept people with that kind of background, because people are judgmental for the most part. So,
so how now? Obviously, I had some little challenges with your names. So just fitting into Belize, obviously you're going to stand out. How do you get yourselves embedded in the south side of Belize City by all means?
I'll start first. To me, it's very natural to me, because at 10 years old, I moved I'm originally Russian. From Russia, I moved to Los Angeles, California at 10 years old. So I grew up in downtown and south central Los Angeles, and I grew up around a lot of Belizeans. I think a third of my high school was Belizean. So to me, it's not really a culture shock or anything like that. And I haven't had any problems. I feel very confident, and just God's been with me. So I like Belize. And
Myself also, I'm originally from Ukraine. I moved to New York, moved to the city, which I was also surrounded by minorities. Also myself being a minority. And when we came here, like, I didn't feel out of place at all. Maybe people might look at us and seem that we're different, but when I talk to people, when we look around, the surroundings are just a little bit different, but everything is very familiar to me. So it's not like a big culture shock to us to come here.
Now, when you come and you're using a religious background as well to engage people about real life issues, where very often people feel like there's a disconnect between the church and the real world. Mm-hmm. How do you engage people to say, well, we are here to talk to you about God, but let's talk about the drugs that you're using too? Well,
we think it's directly. Back in the world, I know from my own experiences being a former addict that I tried many things, different type of medications, the things that the world had to offer, and it never did anything. You just become addicted to something else, another medicine, and you never become truly free. And the Bible says that when the Son makes you free, you are truly free. So that's what we teach, that Jesus Christ can make you free from any type of addiction that you have, any type of problems that you might have that you can't overcome yourself, that He helps you. And this is what we teach. Just from self-experience, we know that this works. Me and him are both successfully went through the program, and we are standing strong, and God is moving us forward.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the program itself. How it works from engagement to when you are, I guess, released from the program.
Well, we're not holding anybody captive there.
But it's not when you graduate from the program, how about that? Is that better language?
Okay, most people, when they come to the program, they've been existing. By the time they leave, they are living, because a lot of problems are spiritual, and a lot of times people are lost and don't really know the meaning of life. So the deeper you get in the root of the Word, and one of the things that we focus is for people to let go of religion and focus on a personal relationship with God. Also in the center, they learn how to be productive members of the society. Basically, a lot of people that are in the world, just from simplest things, from waking up, from having discipline, to being humble. And in time, a person will understand what he wants out of life. If he wants to go on full-time ministry, the door is open. If he wants to go back to school, we'll help him with that. If he wants to get a job, we visit a lot of churches. We're getting involved in the community with a lot of pastors. I'm sure the door will open. Like it says in the Bible, if you search for the kingdom of God, everything else will be added. And if you have righteous intentions and you are making the effort, doors will open up for you to be a productive member of the society. And a lot of times, people that come on the program haven't been irresponsible. They have broken homes, they have broken families. So you just see everything else start to form and get put in the right direction. And
it's more of a family environment.
Yeah.
We teach basic skills, whether it might be from housework to maintaining around the house, or maybe maintaining a vehicle, just things so you can get interested in life. Because when you're living that type of life of addiction, it's just day to day. Like he said, you're just existing. You're just existing. There's no real life. You don't have responsibilities. And besides teaching religion, we teach not religion, our personal relationship with Jesus Christ. We also teach these basic needs of being a man and being a productive member of society.
Do you target primarily males, or is it for both males and females?
Right now, in our first stage, we're just targeting men. Yes, as the need is the biggest right now for that.
Because the man is the head of the family, and I think family restoration is one of the main things that we focus on. If you look in the society today, we're faith-based, so believe the devil's plan is to ruin the concept between man and a woman. And we try to focus and explain to a man his responsibilities as a man.
As the head of the household.
As the head of the household.
Now, when you start talking about religion for some people, or I'll say religion for now, you defined it differently, and you have that choice. But engaging people along spiritual lines may not be something that is very easy, especially given the fact that we do have a lot of churches that come to Belize, a lot of missionaries from different faiths, from Muslims, Christians, everything in between. and they come, but it's not necessarily an undertaking that remains. How do you make people feel confident that this is an initiative that is not just a fly-by-night, and that you're here to stay and will invest in people, and especially those who participate in your program? Because a big part of a challenge for any addict is you can go through a program, but it's returning into your neighborhoods or where you live to really exist again. That is the challenge. What kind of support is there in terms of that to make sure that the person is reintegrated into their own familiar areas?
One of the things that made it easier, that Belize is a Christian nation, so everybody knows about Christ, but not everybody lives with Christ. So a lot of people hear about the word, but they're not doing the word. So also our record shows that every country that we have started our mission, it prospered. We have a very big success rate. So we're not just here passing through, we are here to stay one way or another. God willing, we will have a rehab center, we will have a child care place one day, we will have a church, we will have our ministry set up, because we have a lot of brothers all over the world that are graduating, and not everybody wants to go back to just living 9-to-5 life. A lot of brothers want to commit and dedicate some time into full-time ministry. So I've been in Belize already 6 months. I still have 3 more months. My brother's committed for half a year. We already have ministers that are ready and that are equipped and have the desire to serve the Lord. And our main goal is to raise up Belizeans that will lead the way. In Honduras, we've been there 4 years. We have a Honduranian pastor, we have a Honduranian director. Our goal is not to have full control here. Our goal is to raise leaders, to raise disciples, to raise Belizeans that will eventually lead this mission.
What's the strength of your volunteers here in Belize currently?
Excuse me?
Manpower?
Yeah.
Yeah, currently right now it's just me and Alex, but we're also receiving another missionary at the end of this week.
So you have groups coming occasionally?
Yes.
We just had a group of 9 missionaries here for 3 months. Before that we had a different group. Because of the holidays, we're the only ones here till beginning of January. We're going to be receiving a couple missionaries in January just for the rehab ministry. So.
And when do you plan, and where is your location? Do you have a location already for your rehab center?
Yeah, we are located in West Landiver right now currently. That's where our mission house is, but we are also looking for a property maybe somewhere outside the city, maybe 10 to 15 miles outside the city, where it's more secluded away from the hustle and bustle of the city life, because knowing ourselves that in that city atmosphere, it's harder. If you are in the city where you grew up, where you done the things that you're doing, it sometimes tends to draw you back if you see it, if you hear it. So in that type of atmosphere, let's say in the country, it would be a little bit easier to just forget about all that and start on a new path. But yes, currently we're in West Landiver until we find a new location.
Now, so how can people reach out to you guys?
We have a number. Also, we visit a lot of churches. A lot of pastors know about us. So if there's a will, there's a way. Our mission is getting more and more out. Also, we have a radio station God blessed us with, 98.9 Radio Guadalupe, that we host. There's many different ways, but we can leave our contact information and people can reach out.
How soon do you all plan to open the center, the rehab center? Or is it
January 7th?
January 7th?
Yes.
And it will be from your West Landiver location for now?
Yes.
All right. So you can go ahead and say your contact information and how people can, and what church are you associated with? Because you're talking about the locations that you have in various countries.
A church that's been helping us out is Eagle's Nest, Bishop Howell Lensworth. Actually, I'm surprised we got a lot of help from the government, from Mayor Darrell Bradley, from Mr. Griffin from Customs. Just in general, I've seen that in this country, people have really helped us out, just reached out, because everybody understands the need for this, and everybody understands that this is a problem, and it's a very young nation. There's a lot of young men that are going through spiritual problems, that's what we would say, from gangs, from drugs, just need an opportunity to change and somebody to talk to, like a positive role model.
So it's not only drug addiction, but rehabilitation of individuals to become productive citizens?
It's
Yes.
like a life change center.
Life
It completely changes your life. The way that you were living, it changes it to the better.
You cannot go through the center and not change.
Yeah.
It's just
And how long
never-
does the program last?
6 to 9 months.
So it's
Depends on the
dependent.
person.
Yeah. And then after that, you have opportunities, like you said, you have missionaries or missions coming down, or
Yeah.
missionaries.
Well, say if you finish the program 6 to 9 months and you're successful in it, and you have a desire to stay, like Alex said, that we want to give the reins to locals, to the Belizeans here. So if you have a desire also to serve, then you will have opportunity to stay and to serve and to continue helping. Just like I went through a rehab center and God put it on my heart, He opened up my heart to help the people, the same type of people that I was, in the same type of situation that I was. And that's why we are doing this. And there'll be the same opportunity to be given to a student who has graduated. If he has a desire to serve, we will give him an opportunity to do that.
And it doesn't have to be locally. It can be internationally as well.
Yes,
Yes.
it doesn't just have to be locally.
All right. Well, your contact information.
Our contact information number is 635-8116. 635-8116. And the mission is called God Will Provide.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we want to thank you both for joining us and wish you the best with this initiative. Very interesting and definitely much needed in the country. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, it'll be for some makeup tips for people as they move towards their New Year's Eve parties. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.